In my kid's school, there is a teacher that identifies as a cat and requested a litter box to the school.
Parents' rights are our rights. Just keep the education, the curriculum, and not about sex and not about ideology. Just keep it simple. English, math, geography, history. That's all.
It's just, of course, they are polluting the minds of the kids before they reach an age to take a decision themselves, right? So this is not fair. Parents should have the right to teach their kids regarding these.
This is about leaving our children to be children. Let them decide what they want to be when the time is right with the guidance of their parents. It is not about hate. I accept the LGBTQ population. They are welcome in my world. I love them. I want them to be happy. If you're not harming anyone, you're okay to do what you want, but what you're doing in the school right now to our children is harming them, and it's not okay, and that's why we are.
I'm a parent. I have 2 children, and I am against everything that is going on in the school system right now. In my kid's school, there is a teacher that identifies as a cat and requested a litter box to the school. How come parents are not informed what's going on within their schools, right? They're there 8 hours a day. They basically live at school and visit home. Why is it that as a parent, I don't have a right towards my children anymore?
What brings you out here today?
For the children and my grandchildren.
What brings you out here today?
I'm here to protect my son, and I'm here to protect all the kids in the world. I'm definitely fighting for everybody, and I'm not down with the agenda.
What do you think about the far-left activists here who put out a huge call for action across Canada and labeling anyone who attends here as hateful and bigoted? What are your thoughts today?
As you see my sign, we don't hate gays, we don't hate trans, we just don't want indoctrination in our schools. Our tax dollars pay for the schools, not for sexualization of kids. Keep it out of the schools, bottom line. Actually, my son's in kindergarten, and there's a children who identified as N, non-binary, at 4 years old. That's not the child identifying, that's the parents. And the school went along with it. Instead of putting an M or an F for male or female, they put an N for non-binary. Not okay.
We're here for our children and nothing else.
You start trying to convince kids that they don't know what gender they are, or they're born in the wrong body at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, that's child abuse. All right? Gender affirming care wherein you only tell somebody they can be whatever they want to be regardless of their biology at a young age, that is child abuse. It's happening in the UK, it's happening in the US.
The ridiculousness is the BBC teaching kids there are 100 genders. There aren't. It is absurd.
I just want to say, wake up before it's too late. When they indoctrinate your children at a very young age, it's hard for the children to know the difference between what's right and what's wrong. And always remember, we are in charge of our kids. We are responsible for our kids. We make the final calls. We make the final decisions, not the school board.
We just want to have a say in our children's lives. That's all we want.
Leave our kids alone.
Today, I will discuss the devastating effects of gender ideology on young girls. For starters, current self-ID laws in Canada allow any man to declare that they are a woman and instantly enter women's spaces. These spaces include women's shelters, prisons, rape crisis centers, public change rooms and washrooms, and yes, school change rooms and washrooms. Another major issue that is affecting our girls is the fact that they're now being made to compete against male students in sports. This is blatantly unfair, and we all know it. Show me a person who says that males do not have monumental advantages over women in sports, and I'll show you a liar. Testosterone is not the only factor to consider. Males have larger hearts and lungs, more fast twitch muscles for explosive power, lower body fat, greater upper and lower body strength, stronger grip, larger hands and feet, and are taller on average, to name some of the many advantages. There are girls who train day in and day out to compete for places on teams and to better their performance. They deserve fairness and safety in competition. Every reasonable person knows this, and yet males are repeatedly being allowed to compete against females in sports. Lastly, gender ideology is affecting young girls by convincing them that they can become boys. There has been an explosion in young girls as well as boys transitioning. Girls transition for different reasons than boys. Many do so to try to escape pain and sexualization, to fit in with their peer group, to deal with the discomfort and disgust they feel for their changing bodies during puberty. Our kids need to be told that they are perfect just as they are. There is no wrong way to be a boy or a girl. Girls can wear short hair, play sports, reject femininity altogether. They are still girls. The worst part of this is that if your daughter does transition at school, current policies will ensure that you are kept in the dark about her new name, pronouns, and her current state of mental health. We have a duty to fight back against this. Our children are depending on us. If you are a woman and would like to join WDI, go to womensdeclaration.com and sign the declaration. This Saturday, we will be protesting males and women's spaces at the Big Maple Leaf on the corner of Wyandotte and Glengarry. I speak to so many people who agree with everything I've said, but who are too afraid to come and speak with us publicly. If you agree and you're unafraid of woke ideologues, please come out to support women and girls. We need everyone to see that they are not alone in feeling what's happening is wrong. All are welcome, and I hope to see you there. Reality will always win in the end, but we need to force change before more women and children are harmed by this insidious ideology. Thank you.
Puberty blockers, hormones and surgeries on children and youth. We need to stop telling kids they were born in the wrong body. They are just different. And different is okay. In fact, different is a superpower. We need to start screaming louder that awkward children are being targeted by the new cash cow called transgender health, a series of experimental procedures that have no long-term studies that say it's safe or beneficial. How are we butchering an entire generation of youth in the name of tolerance and acceptance? This is hypocritical. These kids not accepting their bodies, drastically changing their physical appearance through puberty blockers, hormones, and surgery is in itself the act of intolerance. Market research predicts that gender-affirming care will generate more than $5 billion by the end of the decade. The truth is that medical transition is dangerous, it doesn't cure anything, and it causes massive health issues. In fact, there's only 7 studies that have ever said that medically transitioning children are beneficial. But you here in Canada don't know that every single one of those studies has either been retracted with it doesn't help anything, or not enough time, or not enough participants. There's not one study that says it's beneficial. There's only one study that stands the test of time, and it was done in Sweden from 1973 to 2003, and it found that these kids are going to be more suicidal 7 to 10 years after they medically transition. Now that's the truth. But these enormous side effects are not being told to you here in Canada. In fact, of all the countries that I go to speak, Canada is the country that I'm scared of the most. The way Canada is not telling you guys what's going on with all of these medical problems, with all of these procedures, is outrageous. And when I say to scream louder, I mean it. You guys need to scream louder. So here are some facts that the Canadian media is not giving to you. 95% of all medical transition is experimental, except for top surgery, breast augmentation. We have no idea what's going to happen to these kids because it's never been studied. But we do see 19 and 20-year-olds with hearts and lungs the size of 12 and 11-year-olds, never to grow to full maturity. We are seeing these boys that were put on puberty blockers have early onset osteoporosis. We have these girls that are being medically transitioned that have to be on blood thinners for the rest of their lives. We have these children at 19, 20 that have heart conditions, that are sterile, and now they are starting to kill themselves. But you don't see that here in the media. All you see are the unicorn farts and the glitter bombs. In 2003, the manufacturers of puberty blockers, you know the company that says that it's safe and reversible? In 2003, was deemed a criminal enterprise by the U.S. government. Forced to pay $874 million, and they paid it like that. This is a company that cannot pay to have studies on puberty blockers for children, or is it that they know there's not a doctor in the world that would sign on it that it's safe? We've had Muslims, we've had Christians, we've got the rainbow, we've got feminists. Everybody's here. So you have to listen to the facts, and the facts tell us the medical transition is no place for a child. I want everybody here to talk to your children, your parents, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your neighbors, your coworkers. I want to inspire people to have those difficult conversations. I want you to do your work. Get outside of the Twitter echo chamber. This debate is not political. It's not about human rights. And we need everybody here in Canada to be brave enough to release their own screams in unison for something we all are together, human beings. One colossal scream that medical transition is not for a child, because within this debate, a bigot today is a hero tomorrow. My question for everybody here in the audience is, are you willing to take the heat today to be a hero tomorrow, to save a generation of children? Because our children deserve us to adult better.
Okay. If you don't stand for something, especially like this, you will fall for anything. How true that is. So we need to send our voice strongly to the Parliament and across the waters that what we say, our kids matter and we are responsible for their future and their lives, because we have to give an account of how we raised them. That's the truth. God bless you all. Thank you.
Hey, all you beautiful patriots out there. I just got asked to do this, and my voice isn't really warm yet, so I'm going to need everybody's help on this, especially since I'm doing this a cappella. Is everybody ready? Yeah. All right. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true Lord strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for